This man is Eric Levy, aged 92. I haven't seen him for a little while. He came to Iraq with us as a human shield back in 2003. Eric, why are you here today?
Why are we here? Why are we here?
Yeah.
If you don't know, if you don't know, you'll never know. No, if you don't know, you'll find out soon, I hope.
The entire subject and focus of the trial has become, you exposed war crimes and we don't like the way that you did it.
Come on, fire.
We're gonna shoot the messenger. They're sending a message. This is what will happen to you. You're gonna go to jail for hundreds of years, and they're dragging him all the fucking way to the U.S. to put him in jail because he showed the U.S. for what it really is. And you claim you're anti-fascist, really? You're anti-tyranny? Yeah, show me, man.
Every stage, the law has been abused in order to victimize Julian. He has been silenced. He has been disappeared. Those who committed the war crimes or responsible for those war crimes have not been held accountable.
Julian publishes through the courage of Chelsea Manning.
Julian is in prison because WikiLeaks is a publisher that specializes in the secrets that states keep the most hidden. Julian revealed war crimes by the US government, the world's superpower, in Iraq and Afghanistan, and the fact that it had normalized, institutionalized torture. This assassination plot was as revenge for what WikiLeaks had published. This is a country plotting to assassinate a journalist because of what he has published. Julian has done nothing wrong, and the prosecution against Julian is the single greatest attack there has been on the First Amendment, and that is Trump's legacy. Julian is not a US citizen. He's an Australian citizen who is working as a journalist in the United Kingdom. He owes no allegiance to the US government. Since the 11th of April 2019, Julian has been inside Belmarsh High Security Prison, which is the harshest prison in the UK, known as Britain's Guantanamo Bay. It's also a difficult struggle for him mentally. Julian suffers from clinical depression. He has all his adult life. I have 2 children with Julian. They are 3 and 4. Our eldest was born when Julian was still in the embassy in 2017, and he would go to the embassy to visit Julian. We kept it secret so a friend would come in, posing as his father.
That is the danger posed by the US prosecution of Julian Assange. And I have to say that the time for fence sitting has run out. Colleagues, this is our last chance for a say on this case. If Assange is surrendered, he's gone. How can we talk about rule of law and not resoundingly condemn this criminal prosecution and demand his release?
Across the country, we've learned there's so much support in America from, from normal Americans for Julian Assange. We've moved all the way up the East Coast from Miami through DC, Washington, Philadelphia.
All right, so we're outside Merrick house for a vigil. Really good turnout so far. This is right across the street from his house. So he can see us. He's home, apparently. He can see us. Hi, everybody. Hi.
Free Assange. Free
Hi.
all political
Free Assange. We're live on A4A.
Really important thing is that if this goes ahead, if this extradition and persecution of Julian Assange goes ahead, under the auspices of the Espionage Act of 1917, if that goes ahead, then every news outlet, publisher, publication and journalist can face the same prosecution for any comment whatsoever that the United States Department of Justice doesn't really like, or Washington finds obnoxious or not to its taste.
I just wanted to say this. Until Julian Assange is free, none of us are free. The fight for Julian Assange's freedom is the fight for our freedom. The freedom to expose the lies of government. The freedom to expose war crimes. And the freedom to tell the truth. Orwell has been credited as said journalism is printing something that power doesn't want printed, and everything else is public relations. Well, every day Julian Assange is in prison. That is a mockery of our society's supposed commitment to freedom of speech and freedom of the press.
There are so many people here that really care about this case and care about their First Amendment rights.
I know
mean,
we
people
can.
allege that I'm Glory Jones Dingo, but I'm just an anonymous personality, you know?
Yeah, I don't know who Glory Jones is. I've never met Glory Jones.
That's my favorite part.
I have no sound. I can't hear anything.
Can you not hear me?
I think my headphones are fucked. Like they just stopped working. We were just talking, Andrew. I can't hear anything you're saying. I'm going to take myself out. I'm going to try to figure this out.
I'll survive. I'll do numbers.
Sorry,
Howdy,
guys.
everybody. We're going to have Jesse Jett joining us soon. But before we get there, I do want to run through the numbers with everybody while Misty's reconnecting. As of June 22nd, 2022, we have 4,215 days of illegal and arbitrary detention for Julian Assange. It's been 1,168 days since the WikiLeaks founder was trafficked from the Ecuadorian embassy after being sold to the US and the UK for a $4.2 billion loan from the International Monetary Fund to the nation of Ecuador. We have 532 days since District Judge Vanessa Breitzer's January 6 ruling denying Julian Assange bail after personally ordering no extradition in his case and ordering his release on January 4th. We have 1,764 days of inhumane pretrial detention for the alleged Vault 7 whistleblower Joshua Schultz, and at least 1,728 of those days have been spent in special administrative measures since October of 2018. We have 1,167 days since the political persecution of Ola Bini started at the hands of the Ecuadorian government. We have 376 days since Commander X was illegally taken from Mexico in rendition to the United States. 448 days since Daniel Hill pled guilty to a single charge under the Espionage Act, and 254 days since he was transferred to a communications management unit in the penitentiary Marion in Southern Illinois. We have 204 days since Craig Murray was released from HMP Belmar or Edinburgh. We have 373 days since whistleblower Reality Winner was set free. We have 831 days for Chelsea Manning and 581 days for Jeremy Hammond. Super exciting stuff.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me? I was terrified.
Yeah.
I was reading. I was like,
I'm sorry.
Be there when I
I'm
come
sorry. I'm sorry. I know, because I know how bad I panic when stuff like that happens. So I felt really terrible. But for whatever, I don't know. I still don't know. I had to unplug my headphones from this and plug it into my Bose speakers, because for some reason my microphone, which is what I usually just plug it into and use that as a speaker, is not working. Just for that, can you you can hear me? Okay.
Yeah, no, you're perfectly
I'm
clear.
so confused. I don't know.
You sounded fine before too. It was just like your audio, you couldn't hear it. Like I could hear you just fine.
I am really confused. But I got it fixed. It's working out. We're all good. Everything's good.
CIA.
I don't know what that's about though, dude. It's weird. We were just talking. You know what I mean?
We were literally like just before the video started.
Just before the video started, and then as soon as you started the video, it stopped working. Like I couldn't hear. I didn't hear any of the video. Zero.
No.
No.
I saw the message and then I looked in chat and everyone had audio, so I thought we were good.
Yeah. No, not me. I was trying to figure out what the hell that was about.
Right.
And I just kicked a plastic fucking sword.
At least it wasn't a real one. But so
why? Why is this? Why? Why? Why is this?
Die to a slice to the throat. But we're gonna have Scott Horton next week.
Yay!
So I'm excited about that. We should have Kara Castronova in the second hour of next week, but this week,
yay! All right,
doing us stuff.
Yeah, we're doing us stuff. I'm tired, and there's some stuff to go over, but nothing fancy. Just us. You're stuck with just us. Yeah, sorry. Oh, Jesse Jett.
Jesse, sorry,
we're underselling this program here, Andrew.
I'll be here in probably about like 20, 25, 30 minutes ish.
Yeah, ish. Okay, what are we going to start with? What are we starting with?
The Assange family article.
All right.
I can screen share it. I can pull it up and make it easy.
It's a very strange color of yellow outside. Is it?
I can't see the outside.
Oh.
It's kind of depressing.
Oh boy.
I'm really tired, so I'm
No,
probably
I
going to
am
be a little
too.
giggly.
This is gonna
And
be fun.
I am really tired today. Okay.
So Assange's family steps up campaign for release. Julian Assange's father and brother have met in Germany, met with Germany's foreign minister to push support for the Australian publisher before his possible extradition to the United States. Gabriel Shipton, Julian's brother, said from Berlin that the Germany deputy foreign minister has been sympathetic about Australia's plight, the Australians' plight. Assange faces a 175-year sentence in the U.S. government, and that the U.S. government should drop the charges. I'm terrible at reading. I'm sorry.
I can pull it up if you want. I don't have it up.
I mean, I got it. I'm good.
Okay.
Shipton said he believed the Australians now understood what his brother faced if extradited from London's high-security Belmarsh prison to the United States, and that Australian politicians understood the community's concerns. They're trying to capitalize on this momentum and turn it into something to help the Australian government do the right thing, basically to intercede on Julian's behalf. British Home Secretary Priti Patel on Friday approved Julian's extradition to the United States, where he faces charges under the Espionage Act relating to leaked documents and publications from WikiLeaks, as well as conspiracy to commit computer intrusion, which is what a lot of articles are leaving out lately. Assange's lawyers will appeal the High Court's decision against the British extradition order. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese on Monday stood by comments he made late last year when he said he did not see the purpose in the ongoing pursuit of Assange, and that enough is enough. On Wednesday, Attorney General Mark Dreyfus, who in opposition demanded the Morrison government encourage the United States to end its action against Assange, also said Assange's case has dragged on too long. It should be brought to a close, the spokesman said. The Australian government will continue to express this view to the governments of the United Kingdom and the United States. Gabriel Shipton said on Friday, after the extradition order was made, that his brother had been strip searched and moved to a bare cell because the prison staff was afraid he would harm himself. What are we waiting for? For Julian to die? John Shipton, also in Berlin, said encouraging the Albanese government to try to bring the charges against his son to an end has been their main task, insisting that they are sincere in their comments. Now is our next job, he said. A group of Labour coalition, Green, Teal, and Crossbench MPs are continuing their campaign to push the federal government to formally asking the U.S. to drop its charges. Among them is independent Kyoyoung MP Monique Ryan, who met recently with John and Gabriel Shipton. She said that she had been appalled at the decision of the UK government to allow the extradition of Julian Assange to the US. She urged the Australian government to intervene to repatriate the Australian. Enough is enough, she said. That seems like a good but like weird, like it's just a lot of people are saying it following Albanese's lead. No useful purpose may be served by Mr. Assange's extradition. Can you see my screen? Do you want to pick up the second half?
I cannot see your screen. It's not very big for me.
Too far. That's the closest I got.
I still can't see it.
Opposition leader Peter Dutton this week warned against acting to help Assange, other than providing him consular assistance. The UK and US have legal systems equivalent to ours, he told 2 Gigabyte Radio. People should conduct themselves according to the law, and I think they should be answerable to their conduct according to the law. I think Mr. Assange has protracted this particular issue for years and years and years through his conduct.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Read that again.
I think Mr. Assange has protracted this particular issue for years and years and years.
Who the fuck said that?
Peter Dutton.
Who the fuck is Peter Dutton?
So Peter Dutton is Voldemort, if you remember your Australian right. He is currently the leader of the Liberal Party, the former ruling party that just got removed from power by the Greens and Labour.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he literally looks like a penis.
He really just said that Julian Assange has been prolonging this?
Yes.
Holy shit. What a douche. Wow.
Let me find images of this guy.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. That's
so
it's good
violently.
because a lot of people don't know Australian. I just watch too much
Fuck
Film
that shit.
Majority.
Yeah, I know some. I'm terrible at names. You know that. I think I know who this guy is. But yeah, I don't know a ton. Listen, I'm an American. I get it. I don't know a ton about Australian politics.
This
but
is the.
what
this
a
is the guy.
douche.
Yeah. No, they're literally trying to find a way in Australia to make him more palatable. And there was someone for real. There was a journalist that asked him about why people think he looks like Voldemort, like on like primetime news, and
Yeah.
everyone got really offended. Like the uppity liberals got really
Mhm.
offended. Like, why would you ask that question?
Ugh.
So that's Peter Dutton.
What a fucking douche. Sorry. Anyway,
No,
go ahead.
you're good.
Continue.
You're good. He's a scumbag for
He's
real.
gonna get some emails.
Yeah.
Peter Dutton. I need to write that down.
Dear
Adam.
Mr. Voldemort.
Yeah. Add him to the list of people to bother.
Opposition Foreign Affairs spokesman Simon Birmingham this week said much of Assange's time incarcerated in prison or in the London's Ecuadorian embassy was the result of seeking to avoid the judicial process rather than engage in the judicial process. Torture. Asked about the opposition's comments, Gabriel Shipton said they were not relevant. You've got China using Julian as a whip for the US and UK. You know, like, don't lecture us on press freedom when you've got a journalist and publisher locked up in prison. I think Peter Dutton's argument falls away pretty quickly. Assange's wife, Stella, who has 2 children with the Australian, said from her British home that her husband was running out of time, and she referred to his legal fight as a dark and nasty legacy of the past. Cool heads in both countries can resolve this shameful case because Anthony Albanese is right. Enough is enough. Julian Assange needs an Australian government to throw its political and diplomatic weight to end this madness. It needs to happen quickly before he is buried in a U.S. hellhole forever. Julian needs to come home to our children. Friend and longtime campaigner to free Assange, Felicity Ruby, has repeatedly visited the 51-year-old in Belmarsh and the Ecuadorian embassy before that. Ruby also attended Assange's court hearings since 2011 and has said that she was hopeful Albanese would intervene. She said watching Assange really deteriorate over 10 years might make my hope desperate, but I believe Albo will try to make a breakthrough. He gets what's at stake and why it matters. Albanese said on Monday that writing in capital letters on Twitter was not an effective way to lobby diplomatically. Ruby said the PM was right not to use loud hailer or Twitter declarations. I personally agree that. No, I disagree. I think that you should use
all of everything. Yes.
This as you can.
Social media, every single appearance that you make. Maybe not every. I'm a little dramatic, but listen. We have to do this through quiet diplomacy. Is some bullshit. This case needs all of the noise. This is something that literally impacts all of us. And it's been happening in silence, and it's been happening behind closed doors, and they've been able to get away with that for a very long time. This is not about Julian Assange, and he needs to be calling. I mean, it is. I mean, he's the guy getting tortured, but it's so much bigger than that. It needs all the noise, all of it, all your loud hailers, motherfucker. It's such a cowardly thing to do. It is such a coward, in my opinion, cowardly thing to do. Come for me or not, I don't care. It's cowardly. We don't need silence. Now is not the time for silence. Politeness is how we got here.
Yeah. We will have to understand, however, that the loud hailers and tweets of campaigners will be directed at him until Julian touches down at Mascot, I believe, an airport, a free man. Outspoken Assange supporter and Tasmanian MP Andrew Wilkie said Labour was not united on its approach to Assange. Assange's WikiLeaks website published internal U.S. Democratic emails in the run-up to America's election in 2016 that hampered Hillary's campaign. Some people quite wrongly hold Julian responsible for the rise of Donald Trump, Wilkie said. Wilkie said the Australian public's view of Assange has changed in part due to the amount of time that has passed. People are just over it and saying, for heaven's sakes, hasn't he suffered enough? Hasn't this dragged on long enough? Wilkie and former MP George Christians convened a parliamentary supporters group that by the end of the last parliamentary session had 25 MPs. Wilkie said he expected there to be more in the new parliament.
I'm so honestly, Andrew, the enough is enough thing makes me angry. He should have never. Right. There is no enough. Like he should have. He should have never.
It's been enough, right? Like bombing Iraq and Afghanistan was more than enough. Like
yes. Yeah. Yes.
Because like Peter Dutton's talking about, like, hey, let's follow laws and legal processes. Then those people that bombed those countries that are exposed in these documents should be in jail, because that's how legal processes are supposed to work.
Seriously, what a douche.
Yeah.
So pathetic.
No, like it's perfect that he looks like a penis, though.
Yes.
Like for real. Like it's almost like too like uncanny. They were like, make me a super villain from Australia. And they were like, here's this guy. He has a dick for the shape of a head.
I'm going to put up some dates, y'all, real quick. How about that? Upcoming dates. Tomorrow is World Whistleblower Day. So I'm going to blow up Twitter. I'm going to make a lot of phone calls, in particular for Daniel Hale, but choose your favorite whistleblower. I don't care. But I think Daniel Hale's, special case.
Schulte, you could always call for. I guess it is Schulte.
Yeah,
I guess. I feel like that's really weird to say.
Yeah. But I think I usually either say Schult or Schulte.
Yeah, I was saying Schult for a while, but
yeah,
the New Yorker called it Schulte, so I guess that's what we can go with.
Well, the guy from Inner City Press, I'm terrible at names. I forget his name. Matthew. I don't know. But I think he says it. He's been in the courtroom and he says it Schulte. So I think he would know because Joshua is in the courtroom defending himself. So he's obviously said it out loud, I would guess. Yeah. Or they have. Yeah. So anyways, Whistleblower Day is tomorrow. Write a letter also. That would be good to Daniel Hale. I'll get the address for that in just a second. And then International Day in support of victims of torture is June 26th. I just got to interview Mansour Daifi from he's a survivor of Guantanamo. Holy shit, dude. That's heavy stuff.
Chat says newly elected senator in Canberra, which is Australia. David Pocock is calling for Julian's release.
Nice. Let's go. There are some in
I've messaged most of these people and been like, hey, would you like to join us? And we don't really get responses from Parliament people.
No. Oh, hey, Jesse's here.
Hey.
Hi, Jesse. With your gorgeous, look at you with your mane glowing.
It's sad that I cut mine. Like I shaved my head bald. It makes me sad.
We still love you.
That's quite the mane.
I couldn't get rid of that.
No. You've had your beard for. I don't even remember what your face looks like, homie.
Right. You got to look at my Facebook picture, but I'm banned on Facebook, so you can't. No, I think I actually unbanned myself.
It's classified, right?
I probably have pictures of you. Maybe. I don't know.
There,
or at least there's live streams, right? We have live streams.
My last clean face vigil was when it was October 2019 when I dressed up as Jimmy Dore. We all did like random independent media.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, I miss the Halloween vigils.
I hit up Sean O'Brien to schedule the one for this Halloween.
Already? He was like the go-to for years. Mm-hmm. I mean, for a long time. He was every
Halloween we've had him join us.
Yeah. Those are fun, though. I was Cruella DeVille. That was fun. Although, I don't know how... Honestly, I don't get how people wear lipstick. It was so uncomfortable. And wigs, holy shit. Holy shit. So uncomfortable and hot. No, it's just not for me. Not for me.
Can we talk for a minute?
No.
AOC and MTG, or Ilhan Omar, sorry, not AOC, and Marjorie Taylor Greene's.
I don't really know what you're talking about, to be honest with you.
The tepid and not very timely tweets by Ilhan Omar
Oh.
and Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because Ilhan Omar has clearly been given the assignment of being like the pseudo whistleblower, press freedom friendly member of Congress. So Ro Khanna will occasionally put out like a ridiculous tweet, like Julian Assange may be an asshole, but he always does that. But they've obviously been given their role. This is what happens, Andrew. They're all given their role, and Marjorie Taylor Greene the same thing. But it is it's something to behold to see Marjorie Taylor Greene speak before any of them. First of all, to speak before any of them.
I am happy when someone supports them, right?
Yeah.
But like my thing is like, thank you for doing it. Do it, one, more, and two, like a lot of time has passed. Like,
they're in Congress.
Right.
You're in Congress, motherfucker.
Like you could have joined Tulsi Gabbard, the last session of Congress, and
you could be calling
it bills.
Yes, that you could be organizing your millions of followers and supporters. You could be talking about it more frequently, encouraging them to make phone calls. I mean, there's plenty of things that you could be doing that don't take any time and are free of charge. You can do those things for free. And the fact that you don't means that you don't really give a shit. So I'm just tired of the performative bullshit. That's all it is. It is performative bullshit. And it is and it's not just on Assange, it's everything. All the things. It's the fucking sleepover. It's the, you know what I mean? It's all performative. All of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just so over it. Sorry. That set me off a little bit. Sorry about that.
Can I play the video
No.
of Ocasio from 2019?
Yeah, hold on. Let's finish up these dates real quick while they're up there. So Julian Assange's 51st birthday is also on July 3rd. So there are multiple events, obviously. I think there's one in DC. I think there's probably going to be one in Boston. There will be one in London, multiples in London. Germany will have some. So go to Candles for Assange. You can find actions in general all across the world. All across the globe. For Alex takes care of that and tries to combine all of them into one-stop shop. So go find an event near you, find an action near you. That's what we need. And then anniversary of the collateral murder incident. So not the video being released, but the actual incident itself is July 12th. So share the collateral murder video like crazy that day. And talk about it. I actually I've been trying to get a hold of Ethan McCord. I would love to have him on this show, my show. So he's the soldier that famously like spoke out after the video was released.
Okay, the soldier that talks about the children.
Yeah, he's the guy. He was like one of the first people there. He carried. Yes. So I've been trying.
That would be awesome.
Yes, that would be awesome. Okay, so those are all the dates coming up that we need to be aware of. Tomorrow, it's whistleblower day. Let's go off. Make some phone calls, at least. Do something. Anything. Okay. What did you want to share?
I want to show you.
Oh, I got it.
This is just to give you the date. April 11th, 2019 by Fox News, unfortunately, but this is Ocasio-Cortez talking about Julian the day he was arrested.
Do you have a comment on Assange's arrest and indictment?
I think there's a lot of concern, even for folks who are, who disagree or are troubled by Assange's past. To my knowledge, the specific charges that were raised for his extradition were even ones that the Obama administration entertained but turned down because it was seen as kind of beyond the pale in terms of an attack on journalism and journalists. And so I'm concerned by that specific aspect, very much so in this situation.
And then went on later to tell The Intercept that it was a complicated issue about 2 years later, I believe.
Yeah.
That it was a complicated issue and she would need to consult the caucus about how to answer that.
She's so rehearsed.
Yeah.
She's so rehearsed. Like, she's so manufactured. And concerns. Fuck your concerns. the fuck are you? What is she even talking about? Like his, we looked. If you look into his past, what are you talking? He helped. He uses hacking skills to take down a band of child pedophiles online.
In conjunction with the police.
Yeah, terrible, isn't he? Horrible guy.
Yeah.
He exposed fucking war crimes.
He
He
built the internet
revolutionized
in
journalism.
Australia.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, that's the thing. An awful lot of child pedophile rings write her paycheck. So
That's fair.
I mean, you don't badmouth your boss.
Touche.
Do you want to play?
And I'm out the gate, ladies and gentlemen. We're off.
I'm like really. I don't know where this is coming from. Honestly, I was like in quite a pleasant mood, and now everything's just pissing me off. I'm ranting a little, and I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not, because that's just what you get. Take it or leave it.
It was probably just me reading. Like, God
All right,
damn it.
we do have other shit to talk about. What's the other shit we got?
That Twitter thread about the boycotting not being a form of protest.
Yeah, and there's also, what the fuck is this? Sorry.
I had a nickel for every time I said that the other day.
I'm not registering to read that shit. Nope, that's not happening. Where?
Paywall.
I know. So annoying.
We'll have Glory Jones next week.
Talk about X. That's coming up.
I know. I tried to get her on today, but she is busy.
Yeah, obviously.
She has a billion things going on, but she will be here with us next week. So maybe we'll get Glory Jones and Kara Castronova on at about the same time.
Cool. Yeah, I think X's thing is next. It's the 28th, I think.
That's
so
my
yeah.
birthday.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, dope.
I guess so.
What the fuck else? Oh, okay. My computer is being very strange right now.
At least you can hear us.
That's true. There was some drama earlier, Jesse. For whatever reason, this I was talking to Andrew before the show with my headphones plugged into the Blue Yeti, and then he went to start the video, and it just stopped. Like, I didn't hear anything else from then out. I was panicking a little bit, and poor Andrew, you know how we are. Like, I like just totally bailed on him. I'm like, I gotta go fix my shit. It was very dramatic.
I didn't know if when I was done reading, she was going to be back. So I was like, what's my next move? Like, where am I going from here?
I was just I was waiting for you to finish the numbers. I was waiting for you before I popped myself back in. I was like, I just really hope that this works. Once I pop back in.
I agree, Evan. It is the CIA.
Okay, so I have a thread to bring up.
I like your matching shirt and poster, by the way.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. I'm like the guy that wore the band shirt to the concert. That's me right now. Okay. Did that come up?
Yep.
I always am paranoid about that. Okay. So breaking news, the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals ruled today that boycotts are not protected by the First Amendment. ACLU has confirmed it will take the case to the Supreme Court with huge implications for free speech in America. Okay, so this thread is I'm just going to read through this thread, maybe not all of it because it's a long thread, but go check it out because it does give everything. So the case centers around a law that requires public contractors to sign a pledge promising that they do not boycott Israel. If you refuse to sign the pro-Israel pledge, you are fired from your job. Versions of this law now exist in 33 states. Versions of this law now exist. You have to pledge allegiance to Israel or you can lose your job. And everybody's okay with that? Like, what the fuck? That's weird. That's weird shit. Over the past few years, several Americans have sued their respective states for violating their First Amendment rights. They include a speech therapist in Texas, a lawyer in Arizona, a filmmaker in Georgia. And so again, this thread gives links for all of these situations. I remember the speech pathologist. I remember that one. She fucking lost, they've sued and won now since. But she lost her job initially as a speech pathologist because she wouldn't pledge allegiance to Israel. It's crazy. Okay, so the big exception, which is this case that was happening in Arkansas, the big exception was Arkansas, where Alan Leverett, publisher of the Arkansas Times, is the plaintiff. He's not actually involved in a boycott of Israel, but saw the bill as a template that could be used to attack the rights of Americans on any issue area. Alan lost in district court. The ACLU, which is representing him, appealed to a 3-judge panel at the 8th Circuit and won the case. The state of Arkansas requested a rehearing en banc, I don't know, and the 8th Circuit granted it. The ruling came out today against Allen. The ruling by Judge Cobes Cobes, I'm gonna guess, a Trump appointee who received a not qualified ABA rating, claims that a boycott is simply economic activity without expressive qualities. Cobes used to be the general counsel for Senator Mike Rounds, a co-sponsor of the federal anti-BDS law. So no conflicts of interest
hold
here.
on, because this is even by their own consideration a double standard. Because if you look at what Citizens United says, it says money is speech.
Right.
Right. That's the legal precedent set by Citizens United versus the FEC. So this is in direct contradiction to what the Citizens United bill even attempts to state. Not bill.
Get their asses,
legal
Andrew.
precedent.
Yeah, you're absolutely
Wouldn't
right.
it be fucked up if losing the right to boycott is framed by appealing Citizens United? Like, we'll take money out of politics, but then nobody gets to spend money.
Oh God, that's funny.
That's fucked. It's
All
like
right.
all the Democrats right now are going around saying they're pro-choice after they spent the last 2 years trying to tell us all to get blow darted. You know, like, I don't think that's pro-choice.
Oh shit.
I'm just so pissed off. Like, we've been talking about this shit forever. It's not just me. Lots of people have been screaming about this for a long time. This kind of shit has been going on for a long time, and it's not. They're not slapping it all on us at once. It's progressive, like chipping away, and it's been happening for a very long time. It's escalated. It's bad stuff. This is all very bad stuff. And the idea that you have to pledge allegiance to another fucking country, or you can get fired, is crazy. That's why is anybody like
an apartheid state at that?
Yeah, well, forget that. But like
any country.
But then yes, one of the worst countries on fucking earth.
Which honestly, we're just a breath away from doing that with Ukraine right now too.
Yeah. Yes. It's just
do it, or Ben Stiller will come to your house and he'll kick your ass.
What the fuck is Ben Stiller?
Well, he'll punch your knees, but he'll fight you.
Does nobody think that that's weird?
Ben
Like,
Stiller's
just
very
a
smart.
random Hollywood celebrity just happens after the dude who's supposed to be in charge of the country, who's at war right now, was like giving away Grammys and shit. Like, what the fuck?
And Bono came, didn't he?
Yes,
Bono
probably.
came.
He always does.
Trying to recover the damage done from Bono's
He's
visit.
like the deep state
Get
musician
Ben
of
Stiller in
choice.
here.
God, no. It's just so obvious to me, right?
We're
It's so
hemorrhaging support
obvious.
after Bono was here.
Fucking production.
Do you think they would support a boycott if it was against Russia?
Yes, of course. They're doing boycotts of Russia. There are Fiorella's in Russia right now, and she can't use her credit cards. She can't, like, you know what I mean? Like, McDonald's left the entire country of Russia. McDonald's, the like kings of capitalism. Like, they'll slap a McDonald's any fucking where.
Yeah.
Yes, there are boycotts happening with Russia right now, and that's fine.
See, the problem with this, though, is that people think like, oh, the ACLU's getting involved, we'll be okay.
No.
Right? Like, that's like the
ACLU
veneer. Because even if you talk to like local people, like here in Ohio, we have a bunch of anti-protest laws they were trying to pass.
Yes.
And even if you talk to politically active protesters that care about that issue, right, that care about the ability to continue protesting, they'll say like, well, you know, it's not going to stick. Like, yeah, they'll pass it, but it'll get over. So there's even this like whole mentality of like, yeah, whatever
it is.
They can do that, but you know, it's not going to stay.
Yeah. They always say that. And it's been, like I said, a literal chipping away.
Yeah.
This has been done over the course of time, very methodically. And this is just another like little, this is actually a big chunk. I mean, this is kind of a big chunk. This is a pretty big chunk. Okay, so obviously the ACLU, they intend to take the court or to the Supreme Court. Brian Haas, chief litigator, said, quote, the court's conclusion that politically motivated consumer boycotts are not protected by the First Amendment misreads Supreme Court precedent and departs from this nation's longstanding traditions. It ignores the fact that this country was founded on a boycott of British goods, excellent point, and that boycotts have been a fundamental part of American political discourse ever since. We hope and expect that the Supreme Court will set things right and reaffirm the nation's historic commitment to providing robust protection to political boycotts, end quote. And he's obviously referencing that Supreme Court decision in NAACP versus Claiborne. They've been following the story closely. So they have, if you want to go follow these people, they're covering it. They have a little documentary, I guess. Is that what I'm reading? Yes, a film. Okay. So here we go. Here we go. So annoying. Here, I wanted to read this one. Beware of press coverage that points the finger at Republicans for stripping away our rights without recognizing that Democrats were complicit in opening the Pandora's box when they overwhelmingly supported anti-BDS bills. Again, this is bipartisanship because we don't have two parties. These motherfuckers all work for this. They're owned and operated by the exact same people. They're all working towards the same agenda. Obviously, there are cliques and there's like, I'm sure it's a little bit like I say, high school with psychopaths. But it is still, they all work for the same. They're all cheering for the same football team at the Friday night game. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up. This is bipartisanship. This is the reality of the uni party.
I like that term. It's fun.
The uni party?
Yeah, the uni party.
Uni party. All right. There you have it.
It's like the unicult. It's like the cult that you know you're a part of, but you're
Assangeist.
Well, unicult's it's a YouTube channel.
Oh.
It's like it's weird. It's real
We're all cult members here. Yeah. I'm your leader. Who knew?
Hail.
Oh, goodness. Okay, what else we got? Andrew, what else do we have?
I have stuff about Teenager from a while ago. If we want to go through a little bit of that.
Okay. I forgot I was supposed to pull up the Daniel Hale.
Or if Jesse wants to play some songs because we brought him on.
Yeah.
I mean,
do that.
You want to play some songs first?
Yes, please.
I can do it. You want a song or you want spoken word?
I got one of whatever each. The fuck you're up to, like whatever you feel.
You guys pick. I got one of each in the chamber.
Militia Intent.
Oh shit!
He always says that. He's so fucking obsessed.
Well, Andrew hasn't heard Powerless yet, so I'm dying to play Powerless.
Okay, let's go.
That's going to be the one if I'm doing a song.
All right.
And bear with me. I haven't sang since the first night I had COVID.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yes, you're sick.
That was I have COVID, in case I didn't look like it already. But yeah.
No.
Still big fat positive line as of yesterday. So this is day 7 now. Yeah.
Brutal.
Yep. Started off with just a whole bunch of neck pain, shoulder pain, general malaise. Ended up losing smell and taste a few days in. Taste is back. Smell is still gone. It's weird. Of course, the first thing I did was started going up to like all my liquor bottles and like seeing if I close my eyes, like if I can identify tequila or like bourbon or anything. And it's just like, you get a little bit of that kind of fumey rubbing alcohol sensation, but you feel it more in your eyes than actually smelling what it is. It's bizarre. Yeah. So still out of work for the next few days. Fox got it and has since recovered. My wife just got positive yesterday. She's finally starting to feel a little less miserable. So yeah, I ran the gamut. So here we are. I held out for a long time, you know. It's kind of like when Father John Misty first came out, all my friends were getting into it. And I'm like, if everyone else is getting on board, maybe I should wait. Maybe it's not for me. So I waited a couple years in. I was like, you know what? I like Father John Misty. I'm into it. So I waited, gave it a couple years, and then decided, you know, I'm going to dive headfirst into this COVID thing. Let's see what this is all about. And here we are.
It was a good choice, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you got to try it. I think everybody's got to try it once, you know.
Did anyone else have chickenpox parties when they were kids?
No.
Oh, you know
what? Did that? Or like
a friend of the family's tried to get me to come to one, and I didn't. My parents were like, "Hey, do you want to go get chickenpox?" And I was like 5. I was like, "Fuck no, I don't want to go get chickenpox." And so we didn't, you know.
I got chickenpox the day before I was supposed to start kindergarten, so I couldn't start kindergarten.
I ended up getting chickenpox when I was 16, and it almost fucking killed me because you're not that old. Yeah. It turned into like staph infection, and it's in my airways, and it's in like it was miserable. It didn't even itch. There was just so much going on in my bodies that my nerves didn't know what to do, and even in my sleep, my body was just kind of jumping and jerking, and it was bizarre. So Andrew has not heard Powerless. This Just one of the last songs I have to record actually for the Grift. I'm really close to having that done.
Yay!
I'm trying to push myself because I'd love to release it on 4th of July. But we'll see. We'll see how fast I can try to. I still have to record all the spoken word stuff, so it's a bit of a push. But so this will be on the Grift. This is Powerless. They'll gladly pay you by the hour for a minute or so you can sign off on the towers where they'll piss on your home. And if you feel like you're just powerless to answer them no, it's 'cause you are. They'll gladly pay you by the hour for a minute or so you can sign off on the towers where they'll piss on your home. And if you feel like you're just powerless to answer them no, it's 'cause you are. It's 'cause you are. They'll gladly stagnate a living wage, snap the chains and bury it. Labor slaves in rusty cages dragged behind a chariot, led by Mr. Racial Jungle, Joseph R. Iscariot, fighting over scraps as they barrage us all with variants and BuzzFeed clickbait, straight until we're paralyzed, trying to distract us from the concentration camps that Joe and swore he'd close but only chose to amplify, where they got 50-something kids in cages made for 5 to occupy. And no, she hasn't seen the camps, but Harris swears they're paradise. She tells us the facilities are safe, and that right down to the women, they are regularly sterilized. And then she throws her head back and she proceeds to laugh, that sort of heartless cackle you'd expect from someone working steadfastly on behalf of the virus and a Congress full of parasites. And where was I? I was busy cashing every blue check, demonstrating plainly all the narratives expected from the verified. I was busy breeding verbal leeches by the terabyte, trained them to exsanguinate the wealthy while they sleep at night, bleed the oil barons dry and barren, say they showed us how to share and now we share alike. Just tell them I contracted rabies from a feral mic, and now I'm just another species losing sleep to noise pollution and these glaring lights, forced to change its habits and adapt to just survive. But now it's safe to say that some of us are thriving in the moment, throwing shit on presidential homes beneath the Paris skies. So if you feel like you're just powerless, I guess you bought the lie. But I can tell they're petrified of our collective rights, 'cause I can hear those gentrifiers weeping at the sight of our collective might. And I only can imagine the intensifying fear of knowing revolution's near, and all that's left to do is simply wallow in the thick anticipation of a rabbit bite. Well, baby, one day you can ask your leaders just what that was like before you grab a slice. So if you think you're powerless, allow me now to change your mind. Honey, if you think you're powerless, allow me now to change your mind. You see, they'll pay you hourly, tax them each apart, and build a shining tower out of loopholes and cards, where they'll tell you that you're powerless to keep you in the dark, because you aren't, because we aren't. You see, they'll pay you hourly, tax them each apart, and make you build a shining tower out of loopholes and cards, where they'll tell you that you're powerless to keep you in the dark, because you aren't, because we aren't. And that's Powerless.
I like it.
Yeah. It's good stuff, dude.
Who needs a nap?
Oh no, dude, you have no idea.
I need a nap. I'm fucking exhausted today. Seriously. Oh, so tired today. I really am. You know, those days where you like you're not even really sure what's happening. That's how I feel. Right?
Yes.
That's how I feel. Oh, yeah. That's so good, though. That's so good. Standing ovation from the chat. Cynic's here. Hi, Cynic. I saw Daniel earlier.
And yeah, Cynic is right. If you guys can, please contribute to Jesse Jizz.
Yeah, I just posted it in the chat. I'll do it again.
Oh yeah, that's much appreciated. Out of work for 10 days. That was so
nice his stuff is free, but you can still like contribute. Do you know what that?
Hey, whatever you want.
Yeah, how do you do that? Like, what's?
I mean, when you go to like download, it'll let you just do. You can keep the price at 0, or you can just put in whatever. So.
Oh, okay. Go forth. Get yourself some tunage. Cool. Yeah, you did play that on your show, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
I played that. Yep.
Your show's awesome too, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
That was fun too.
Yeah, I'm excited. Our next one's going to be on Nancy Pelosi, so really excited about that one.
Yeah. There's so much to say.
Yeah.
There really is. There's so much to say about Nancy Pelosi. Holy shit. She's like, my husband calls her Satan.
I liked the Nancy Pelosi OnlyFans joke. That was
What'd you say?
Jimmy Dore earlier was just, I don't remember what the conversation was, where he's like, man, that seems more interesting than Nancy Pelosi's OnlyFans. I was like, okay.
Oh, I wasn't laughing. That was funny.
That's good.
And he says he's the VP of the Cult of Misty. Title's yours, my friend. The title is yours.
I get to be the awkward puppet master. That's my role.
What?
The awkward puppet master.
What puppets are you mastering, my friend?
No, that was the joke from the first one of the first events that we did, when we were like crashing out, like we were just doing so much shit that first week in DC. That became like the running joke.
Gotcha. I got you, dude.
Got you. At least one of us can keep up.
I don't even know what's going on today, honestly. I'm a little bit of in a little bit of a brain fog right now. Ugh. What else do you have, Jesse? What else? What's the spoken word you're doing?
Oh, see, last spoken word thing I did for you guys was the one where I mentioned Jordan Cheriton, so you hadn't heard this one.
Hold on. I know what I meant to do. I'm gonna really quickly, while Jesse's getting ready, I'm gonna put up Daniel Hale's address on the screen so that you can. Tomorrow's whistleblower day, so I think that's a great day to take 5 minutes and write a letter to Daniel Hale. So the address, did it come up? Okay. Yeah, that's his address. Daniel Everett Hale, 26069-075, USP Marion, PO Box 1000, Marion, Illinois 62959. Be sure you write it exactly that way. Be sure you include a return address. Follow all these stupid and arbitrary rules that they list here. Every jail is different, but they all have their own bullshit rules where you have to use only blue or black ink, or you have to blah, 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 blah. It's all stupid. And please keep in mind that your letter is almost certainly going to be open and read by
everyone.
Yeah. So just, be mindful of what you, with what you send or what you write. So use plain white paper, no cards. Again, stupid arbitrary rules. Black or blue ink, handwritten or printed. Use standard size envelopes, no packages, up to 6 pages, double-sided. You can also, I think, send, so you can send photos in color, memes, transcripts of interesting podcasts, printouts of news articles, workout routines to help pass the time, words of affirmation. Hand drawings are allowed. So if you're an artist, that'd be dope.
Okay.
I think that's cool that you can send memes.
Yeah, like Reef. We need to get Reef on that. Where's Reef? Reef is like the meme king.
Start sending memes to Daniel Hale.
Yes, make him laugh. Let's make him laugh.
Yeah.
Let's make him laugh, shall we? Let's do that. Okay, so you were able to send books, magazines, and newspapers, but he has apparently chill out for a minute. He's a little bit. He's got enough. So yeah, there's the address again. Send a letter, please. Please.
Send a meme.
Yeah, send a meme. Follow the rules. These stupid, arbitrary bullshit rules. And send him something. Okay. Sorry, Jesse. I didn't mean to interrupt
you're
you,
fine.
but ADD.
So, Marion, by the way, that's not that far away from us.
Huh?
Marion, the penitentiary that Daniel Hale's held in.
Let's go.
It's
Let's
like
go protest or
it's
something.
just outside of Cincinnati, basically. Like I'm here, you're here, Cincinnati, and then Marion's like directly across southern Illinois, Indiana, southern Indiana.
Cool.
We should do that.
We should do that. We should do that. I wish we would have thought about that before Whistleblower Day. we could have planned something. But that's a good idea. Like we can. I'll look at some dates surrounding the Hale stuff, and we'll see if we can find one that makes sense that we can make relevant, or anytime really. Fuck it, anytime. Let's go. Be loud about it. Get our loud hailer, as Anthony Albanese would say.
We do. We need more loud hailers. If you are a loud hailer, please continue to hail loudly.
Oh, these motherfuckers who are like, oh, we got to be quiet and polite. Fuck that. Fuck that. Are you joking me right now? Quiet and polite is what got us here. That's why he's been in Belmarsh for over 3 years. That's why he's been in illegal and arbitrary detention for fucking ever. That's why he's been a victim of psychological torture for over a decade. Polite and quiet got us here. Enough with the polite and quiet. Enough with that. No more of that. He's a human being. His rights have been violated an unbelievable amount of times. You know what I'm saying? International law has been broken an unbelievable amount of times. And it's over. It needs to be over. I'm pissed off about it today. I think Father's Day got me fired up, and his birthday's coming up. It's gonna be his 4th birthday in Belmarsh. Fuck this shit.
Jesus.
It's so stupid. Why don't I don't? Never mind. I'm just ranting now. Told you, I'm in a weird mood today. I'm exhausted but very fired up. It's a weird combination. Alex is here.
Alex just jumped into chat.
Hi, Alex.
Okay.
Just send her a link. She can update us on global actions. Alex, are you free? I'm going to send you the link, girl. Come if you can.
I'm gonna take my last bit of energy and compress it into one spoken word performance. This piece really went off the rails fast. It went from me kind of ripping on myself a little bit to all of a sudden ripping on Blue Jacks and ripping on Anthony Blinken. And I managed to mention Julian, Shireen, and Taylor Swift all within one piece. I came to this fork in the road with this rhyme scheme where a Taylor Swift reference presented itself to me, and I was like, I'm gonna hate myself forever if I don't do it. Now I gotta. So that became kind of the spirit of the whole thing. This will be the grift, like I said, is going to be a musical disc and a spoken word disc. And this is going to be one of the spoken word pieces. This is called Communism, Taylor's version.
I love that.
Blue check, better hold your breath. I'll slap you out your Ray-Bans. Toe to toe, we'll do-si-do and dip until you face plant. If you want statistics, I can spit them up like Rain Man. Now your argument has 0 arms and legs like Rayman. Now we're touring 2019 like it was Graceland. I dropped 50 pounds and started dressing like a stagehand. Quarantine was born and I restored my former waistband. Now I make the trailers for our future in the wasteland. Back on my bullshit. Back at my heaviest, here to grab the artifact and jam it in the edifice, force it in the orifice, absorb the sordid medicine. All the good cops are either dead or quickly jettisoned. No, I'm not a nihilist, and no, I'm not a pessimist. I'm just your average realist with a fetish for the precipice. To bend you over this abyss, I want to make you sweat a bit. I'll drop you once it registers and know that you'll remember it. Daughters of the Revolution soon may lose their membership, maybe through a dissolution, maybe through dismemberment. Now, I won't be the one to choose or execute the severance, but I stand in solidarity with every tool that severs it. Every crimson pool we made of every fascist fool who watched us sacrifice our schools to fund the final crowning jewel affixed in Lockheed Martin's diadem. What's another 20 dead? Our leaders never cried for them. They're laughing in the garden, drunk and pissing on the hyacinths. The royal jubilee to praise this fascist Biden monarchy is imminent, and it would not be possible without the constant slaughtering of innocents, overseas and here at home and anywhere we find a shred of innocence. We won't stand for peace, not in the global or the inner sense. We won't let a single nation live outside our prison fence. We'll provide the bullets that defaced an honest journalist and turn around to praise ourselves for fearlessly upholding the free press and their important service. But I'll make a bet that Anthony starts blinking awfully nervous when you ask him why Assange is being jailed without a purpose. For what may be the greatest, most courageous act of journalism carried out in earnest. All to be rewarded with a slow-mo execution stretching out across a decade until they commute his sentence half an hour after he goes in the furnace. Sometimes I think the world is only turning out of spite. It's like we died a long time ago and we're so used to being burned that when we saw the light, we all assumed that it was here to burn us. And so we fled into the shelter of a flooded circus, led to higher ground by all the clowns who own the only raft that floats above the sewage. And yes, there's plenty room, but they insist we don't deserve it. They insist the system works. They know it isn't perfect, but say we can't let great become the enemy of good, or all these rolling waves of shit we call democracy and bled out every dime for won't be worth it. But I submit this joke of an American experiment has not been worth a fraction of a damn since we birthed it. I submit that all our contributions to the planet, when subtracting our destruction and the millions we've left dead and labeled damages, would leave us with a failing grade of worthless. My apologies to any blue checks who might be listening. I'm sure that made you clutch your pearls and $1,000 purses. Did I interrupt your fantasy of healthcare exclusivity replete with fleets of Tesla hearses? Or your daily round of golf claps to pacify our broken nurses? Now, I know my spoken word is like the scalpel of a surgeon who is working on behalf of the insurgents, but I'm just here to open up your eyes so you can see the true reality and not your censored, tailored version. So you can get your copy of my brand new manifesto. I took all my calls for violence, made it danceable, and presto, called it communism, Taylor's version. Called it Tales of the Great American High-Speed Rail Aversion. Called it How to Put a Bigot into Power, then collectively and feebly coerce him into acting like a decent person. This will be the most important vote you'll ever cast, because we have to wrestle power from the current ruling class and hand it over to the other team of smiling suited serpents. This will be the most important vote you'll ever cast. Now watch them toss it in the vat and see it melt into the surface. That's Communism Taylor's version.
That's so good. Chicho's here. He says powerful. Hi, Chicho. I love Chicho. Chicho's great.
Alex, I don't think can make it. They have Ithaca.
They're doing Ithaca.
We got to see if we can be allowed to put it.
Yes, please. That'd be cool.
I'll ask people that can ask people.
I can ask people, but they don't ever. I mean, sometimes they respond. They're very picky about some shit. It's weird to me. Anyway, that was amazing.
Thank you.
Cynic said, replete with fleet of Tesla hearses. Yeah, that line is very good. That is very good. Ridiculous, dude. Thanks for playing some shit or doing some shit.
Yeah, of course.
I know you don't feel good. You did good for your first time, post illness.
Oh no, I tested positive, super positive yesterday still. I still got it.
What day are you on again?
I first tested positive on Thursday.
But you were probably sick. Were you not feeling well?
The night before, actually, when I was on with you guys last vigil, I was feeling like a little warm, but I didn't have a fever. And I'd also at work been in and out of our freezer, and it was like 90-something degrees that day. So I kind of attributed it to just my temperature fluctuating. But then I was just sleeping shitty. that night and woke up the next morning and tested, and it was like big positive line on the home test. So it's been a few days. I'm like feeling mostly okay, just like super weak, crazy fatigue, little congestion. But yeah, I tested yesterday and I'm still crazy positive. So that's another 5 days before I'm back to work. So
bummer.
Yeah, so I'm just spending that time trying to get music finished up, get the record done as much as I can. I can't really record much in the way of vocals right now because I'm just all
right.
But yeah, this is my first dance with COVID. It's not the best. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone.
It's funny. Oh, Alex is here. Hey. Hi. Alex. Thanks for stopping in. Are you doing Ithaca? What's going on?
Yeah, I've been flyering for Ithaca. We've been Cuba Street with the big billboard sign up in Cuba Street, and we had about 3 or 4 people, and we had quite a few people check in and take flyers. So hopefully going around to different suburbs and get it out there. But yeah, there's not much promo. So
yes. We're in weird times.
Actually, Aotearoa for Assange doing this. They organised the one in Civic Theatre in Auckland as well on the 26th on Saturday. And then our one in Wellington is on Thursday, the 30th at 6 p.m. at Embassy Theatre. It's the one where they have all the Hobbit and the premieres of all the Peter Jackson films,
Oh, cool.
where the red carpet goes out and the whole town stops. Yeah.
Cool.
I've got my Julian Assange t-shirt on here. I don't know if you can see that.
We just pointed out my shirt matches my poster. Thanks, Magnus. I got these on Magnus's place.
Nice.
He's got a bunch of designs over there. Yeah, and there's a lot of actions coming up. Hey, I'm gonna, just so you know, I can send it to you because I'm sure you won't be able to remember everything. But so I'm at Freedom Fest next month. Me and Kendra are gonna go. We're gonna have an exhibitor table, so that's gonna be dope. That's in Vegas, so we need to get that added to the thread. People come to Freedom Fest, and we'll have stuff for you. Yay! What else is coming up? I know there's a lot of events coming up.
Yeah, well, there's quite a few who've earmarked it for the birthday, but they're all, TBC. I've put a bunch up on candlesforassange.com on my website. I've listed it all there, but also I've always got that thread. My pinned tweet on Candles for Assange on Twitter is usually having a long thread, and you have to click through lots of events, but you'll find a whole bunch there. So as usual, we got Mexico and Toronto and Sydney and obviously Wellington, Auckland, lots of people doing events everywhere. We're going to hug the US War Memorial in Wellington, but we're going to start off at Cuba Street, have a birthday party on the Sunday, and then we're going to head over to the US War Memorial and hug it, because we love the idea that Aotearoa for Assange came up with, which was Hug Belmarsh. And I wish that might happen for Julian's birthday. It would be very special.
Yeah. Yes. I wish I could.
So
be
we're
there
doing
for
a
that.
mini one in Wellington anyway for his birthday.
Yeah, his 4th birthday in Belmarsh. Oh.
Yeah.
And they just fucking strip searched him. Father's Day weekend, the day that the Priti Patel announced that she was going to sign off on the extradition. They fucking strip searched him and put him in a bare cell for his protection.
And now he's on suicide watch, according to
Yeah. What the fuck? Oh.
Yeah. Sums it up, really, the world, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. What the fuck? Yeah. I think that's pretty applicable to everything at this point.
Well, do you think the suicide watch is going to be similar to the medical isolation that he was placed in, where it was literally like this, like the way it's described, it seems like it's just an escalation in torture.
Yeah, it sounds like that's just another way for them to say, we need to put you in this very, very small room for an undetermined length of time.
Yes, 100%. It is like enhanced solitary confinement, and you're right. There's like a very psychological, like a very manipulative aspect of it. We're gonna put you on.
This is for your own good.
Hours a day solitary anyway, wasn't he? 23 and a half hours a day anyway, even though only having half an hour.
But this is stripping the room. Like now he's in a bare cell, and he's naked. Like they strip searched him, and then he has nothing else, and it's just probably like a bed and a toilet, and that's it. No books, no mail, no anything. I mean, that's for his protection.
So why aren't they going to the UN Court of Human Rights at this point already?
I don't know.
This is what I really have trouble with.
Me too.
And yeah, and
I wish,
people
honestly,
point that
Alex,
out, but in
the
trouble.
communication sucks though. Like they don't I have no
Yeah.
idea why haven't they gone to the European Court of Human Rights?
Mhm.
Why hasn't the UC Global case been brought up? Why hasn't you know what I mean? There's just so much. There's so much that
Even the cross appeal, right?
Yes.
So the extradition got approved by Priti Patel, and then there's just been like a few people here and there that have talked about the idea of how their cross appeal is going to happen. We have nothing stating when or how or where.
We know nothing. I had to message people to find out when the Priti Patel decision was due because there were like wildly different answers. Somebody would tell me, oh, by the end of the month. Somebody would say, oh, by June, whatever. Like there were wildly different responses. Nobody had any idea when the deadline was for that.
I think it was meant to be 2 months past the 20th of April, which
No,
most
I know
people
that-
were saying was the 19th of April. But then it was a weekend, so then it became the Friday, which was this what?
I know, but
Yeah. I know.
There's no communication.
Yeah.
You're right.
And the whole
I want to
process
know.
is intentionally convoluted too.
Yes.
Like on top of all of that, like a few weeks ago or a few months ago when they decided like, hey, we're going to move this up to Priti Patel, they literally said on Monday, hey, we're having the court date on whatever day. Lawyers don't even need to show up to this hearing. When the high court was making their decisions. So even if the lawyers know, it's not like they're even getting that much heads up too on how all of this is working. So I think a lot of it is like it's a psychological attack on everybody, you know? Like that's the fucked up part.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid.
I do think they had to exhaust all legal possibilities before they can appeal and then go to the Human Rights Court. Maybe that is a fact.
Well, that sounds a lot like what happens to Joshua Schulte, where like it's up to the foxes to determine if the hens are allowed to report the crime. There's always some other legal process they can then pencil in at the end of it that has an arrow pointed to some other bureaucrat. So
and nothing matters really. Like none of these appeals are going to matter. None of it's going to make a difference without mass public pressure. They're not going to do the right thing here. Clearly, they're not. They have to be forced to do it.
Well, it also shows where like power of international institutions lie, right? So everyone in the UN says like, hey, we're not going to torture people. We're going to make sure people don't torture people, right? Like that's like something that they are supposed to espouse. And then you have the World Health Organization that says like, hey, we're going to make everyone sign this contract that says we get to put a private Bill Gates funded army in your country to fight pandemics whenever we say there's one, right? So it shows what institutions have power on an international level. Where you have the special rapporteur on torture who's supposed to, in a democratic society, you would think the guy that's like, hey, they're torturing people for the most important like institution would have more weight. But it just shows how they've built the whole Ponzi scheme. Even like Reporters Without Borders and Amnesty International, like they're ultimately just at the end of the day a fangless institution that no matter how hard the individual people inside of it try, they're funded by the institutions that are doing this in the first place.
It's all very corrupted, like to its core. The whole system, everything. It is just really corrupted. We need mass public pressure. That's the only way we ever get anything, right? Really?
Yeah.
Very true.
I mean, that's just how it works.
It's the same how they've subverted, the UN have subverted what it is to be green. It's so frustrating, you know, being formally into saving the planet and then seeing how the Ponzi scheme of carbon tax and all this enrichment of billionaires and fake green. Like the last thing they want is building without corporations, and you can totally build without plastics, without plasterboards, without paint. You don't need any of that stuff. You don't use, but you can't, because that's not going to enliven any corporations, and you know, you're not going to improve any relationships with lobby groups if you go ahead with those kind of green ideas. But they're not interested in self-sufficient people who are producing their own food and power in non-toxic houses and buildings. They don't care. It's so obvious. I taught at uni. I actually embarrassingly taught Agenda 21 because I knew something intuitively was wrong. But you know, it was because of those green ideas we rejected. They're too green or something, you know. But here we
My
are,
favorite
smart
is
cities and
when
Internet of Things.
my favorite is when environmentalists talk about it, but they don't bring up the military-industrial complex.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
it's
Yeah.
that's when you know, like that's a big red flag. That's a big red flag.
Well, they have Agenda 2030 at the UN, which is like the whole like global poverty elimination, and all that's going to mean is they're going to kill all the poor people.
Yeah,
like that's no one's poor if they're dead, right?
It's true.
Like that's their plan.
Yeah, Agenda 21 is in fact Agenda 2030. It's just a smaller stage, the Agenda 2030, because Agenda 21 refers to the century, not 2021. And so it's all wrapped up in the Green New Deal if you're in some countries, or they call it, you know, like it's green investment and all this sort of stuff. But it couldn't be further from the truth. It's Monsanto and Amazon and Gates coming in to basically provide all human services centrally, and we're all going to be human commodities on our computers, as per Alison McDowell. You know, her theories on this. I'm fully on board with her side of that. You know, I'm really. Yeah, especially as they so push the Internet of Things, the surveillance in buildings, you know, it's all that side of the green that they push in architecture school. You could just see it. Smart cities, electric cars.
Ish kind of question.
What?
So Google's doing this whole bullshit where they're like, our AI is becoming sentient, right? Like, right, and it was worried about humans persecuting it for not being human. And I don't know if anyone has taught the computer what humans do to humans for it to even worry about what humans do to a robot. Right? Like there's this whole weird like AI ethics debate, but like where does it stand on like the torture of Julian? Like has any of that information
bells
been
and whistles?
uploaded
Bells and
to, like,
whistles.
the AI? It's just an idea.
I think it's just bells and whistles. It's just distraction. It really is. And even if you look at the whistleblower that supposedly is coming out and being sacked for this, he looks like a dodgy character indeed. I'm not buying it.
Right. Oh, we should we were talking about earlier, Alex. Peter Dutton. Did you?
Oh God, am I supposed to know who that is? Sorry, who's that?
The labor leader in Australia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Baltimore.
He said that Julian brought this on himself, or like he prolonged this.
What?
What was it? He prolonged it. Yeah, Peter Dutton.
Oh, gross.
Liberal leader, not labor leader.
Yeah,
I would have thought not Labour, because Labour is the current
Liberal Party.
Yeah. Albo did come out for Julian, but he said he wasn't going to use his loud hailer, and now everyone's like, use your loud bloody hailer. Yeah.
Silence is not an option.
No, and then there's everyone needs to tweet at Penny Wong as well, who is the new Foreign Affairs. Maurice Payne was the old one, and now we've got Penny Wong is the new Maurice Payne to focus attention on as well. Yeah.
Ugh. I need to get Greg to make graphics. We can put some graphics together so everybody can have the information for who to call, who to tweet, who to text, who to whatever the fuck.
Well, fam, I need to get out of here, but thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah, can we wrap? Because I'm really
No,
exhausted.
sure.
So, Jesse, I already popped your Bandcamp in the chat multiple times. I'm going to do it again.
Cool, thank you.
But when is the your show? Is it next Tuesday?
Next Tuesday,
every other, right? Okay.
28th.
Okay.
That'll be our Nancy Pelosi episode, so that should be fun.
So excited.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Do you have anything else coming up? Or
I think that's it.
Cool. I'm excited for Nancy.
We'll try to finish up the record. So.
Yeah.
And Alex, it was
that.
Nice to meet you. Seriously, thank you for everything you do.
Oh, you guys have never met?
No, but it's awesome too. So
yeah. Yay.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Sorry, I didn't realize you hadn't met. All right. Anyway, bye, Jesse. Thanks.
All right. Bye, guys.
Thanks
Have a
for
good night.
coming. Okay, so Alex, do you want to tell everybody where they can find you, where they can find all the events coming up? I tell everybody all the time.
Yeah, well, as I said, I just updated the very first bit, at least, of candlesforassange.com. On my Twitter, on my pinned thread, you'll always be able to scroll down on the tweet that's there of all the events, and find what's on most recently. And I keep on reinventing those every now and then. But I did just go to London, so I've got a bit of me doing violin in Piccadilly Circus with the London crew, which was amazing. And so yeah, Alex Hill's YouTube channel as well. Yeah.
Cool. I'm Missy. You know where to find me. I don't want to go through it all.
My name's Andrew Smith. You can find me on Twitter at Andrew Zigman. You can find us on action_4 Assange. Our website does need updated. It has out-of-date calls to action on there, but some of them are still relevant if you want to scroll through. But we'll be here every Wednesday. Next week, we should definitely have Scott Horton.
I'm very
we
excited.
should definitely have Glory Jones, and there may be a couple other cool guests. So we suck at promoting, so show up and
we do suck at promoting. We're terrible. We're really bad at this shit. All right. Anyway, that's all we have for you guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out. We appreciate you. And we'll see you next week. Bye, Alex. Thanks for coming.
Welcome.